All right, y'all, this video that you're getting ready to watch was not super easy for me to record. I did have to break it down into a few different pieces. Hopefully you all can follow along with them. Just do the best that you can do. Make sure you save your work to the business folder the way I showed you in the video. I would urge you to make sure you put your headphones into the computer so that you can listen to what is being said. That way, you're not bothering the people around you about playing the sound on your computer. Just do your best, turn your work in. The second assignment, the homepage assignment, at least try to get started on that as best you can. I will likely have to go over a lot of this stuff that's in the video when I return to class next week. If you have any questions, I will be working on a computer all day while you're in class, so feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions. Good luck. I will see you next week.
All right, good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Smith. As you know, I'm not going to be at school today. You have your substitute teacher. I hope you're being very nice to your substitute teacher today. What we are going to go over today in this little video, I'm going to show you all everything you need to know for starting your first web page in this class. If you did not complete your storyboard assignment, you need to do that and get it turned in as soon as possible today. But we're going to go over, we're going to talk a little bit about file management. I'm going to discuss the W3 Schools website with you. We're going to show you what the HTML editor is that you're going to use. We'll insert some codes. We'll talk about how we're going to save the files. We'll view the files in your web browsers, and then we'll go back and edit the HTML files at the end. When we are done with this video, I am going to ask that you turn in the site that we make together in the video, so I have record that you have completed what you were asked to do. Now, first things first, when we are creating a website, one of the biggest aspects of creating websites is file management. In this class, anytime you create a new website, you need to make a new folder for that website. And that's what we're going to do first thing right off the bat. I am going to go ahead and open up my network folder. Just click on the computer part right there. And over here, mine is a T drive. Yours, I believe, is an S drive, but I could be wrong. But find your user ID right there and click on that. And I'm going to create a new folder specifically for this class. Anytime I do a demonstration, I'll save the files in this class, or in this folder, excuse me. I'm just going to label it B2 2016 2017, and I'll be using this folder all school year long. And I'm going to create a new folder for this website that we're going to work together on today in this tutorial. You need to use this exact same file name as well. We're going to simply call this practice site. Now notice that's two words. I've used all lowercase letters, and I've used no spaces or anything like that. And I'm also going to put my name on it. You are going to have to turn this in at the end of this video, so make sure you put your name on yours as well. And actually, let me take the capital letters off there. Let me do all lowercase letters. So now, every time I do a file for my practice website, it's going to go inside that folder that you see right there. All right, the next thing we're going to take a look at is this website that you see right here, the w3schools.com website, and go ahead and pull that up on your own web browser. This website is very important to us in this class. Over the course of the next few months, this website will serve as sort of your textbook that you'll have for the class. The main section that we're going to worry about right now on this website is the Learn HTML section. Now, one thing that you need to notice about this website, the name W3 Schools, it's the reason it's called W3 Schools. It's this website. It was created by the World Wide Web Consortium, who basically sets all the rules for the internet. This website is frequently changing for whenever they update versions of HTML and things like that. And this is what we will use for our most modern conventions in HTML. Now, the things you will want to pay attention to over here are all these different links right here, and those are all the different chapters that we have to cover in HTML. We will follow this a lot from top to bottom, but we will skip around a little bit of it, a little bit on it, depending upon what the curriculum is calling for in our class. Uh, Now, I'm going to go through a few of these examples on this website with you starting out. A couple of things just about the site itself. You will oftentimes see these little examples right here, and you will see codes that are on there. Do not ever copy and paste the codes that you see in the examples. That is plagiarism. You are allowed to copy and paste the codes that you type yourself, but you are not allowed to copy and paste someone else's codes. You'll also see these little things that say try it yourself, and these are actually really good things to kind of practice on things that you want to do. You can notice how if you go in and change some text, and then just click on run, you'll see how it affects the page that you've created over here. Those are always good things to kind of mess around with and experiment with your codes, and you'll see those on there quite frequently. As we did on Tuesday, your HTML quiz you see is listed right there. You also have this HTML tag reference here. While you're working on websites, you can use this HTML tag reference to look up any tag that you might be using, you might consider using. Excuse me. We'll go down here to the next chapter, and let's take a look at the HTML introduction. The HTML introduction is listed right here. I would like for you to read through this. I'm going to highlight a few of the things that I want you to know. Specifically, that HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and a markup language is what's called a set of markup tags. And all these markup tags do is describe what the document content is. It's kind of like writing computer programs, but it's not exactly a computer program. If you write a program and you write commands, the commands tell the computer what to do. The markup tags tell your web browser how to display the content, just like as you see right here. You basically need to learn this language. You're going to see all of these different types of tags right here, and if they look confusing to you right now, that's okay. There's actually an explanation for each one of those down here. I'd like for you to read through that and make sure that you get all of that. If you have questions about it, please let me know. Notice on here that most of these tags that you see here, they come in pairs, as they're talking about right here. They usually have a start tag and an end tag. Sometimes you say the open tag and close tag. The first tag is the start tag. The one at the end with the little slash in front of it, that's called the end tag. I sometimes will refer to them as opening and closing tags. Those are very important that you understand that you have to have a close tag to go with an open tag, simply because it won't display your work properly if you don't do that. Now, next, we're going to discuss HTML editors. If you hear that term, it sounds like a real fancy term, but all it really means is what program are you going to use to edit your HTML codes in. Now, what we will use in class is a very, very simple program called Notepad. To find it on your computer, click your little start button right down there. Notepad's actually attached right here on mine, but if you cannot find it, just type in Notepad right here and open Notepad up. And there you go. Now, a couple of notes on your HTML editors. There are dozens and dozens of different HTML editors on the internet that are available for download. I have found over the years that it's easier for you to learn if you have to type the codes in yourselves in Notepad. There are HTML editors out there that you can just look up the codes and will automatically put them in there for you. You are not allowed to use those during class. It's a lot easier for you to learn if you type the codes in yourselves. All right, the next little step in our process here is to actually just begin designing our pages right here. Um, if you go through here on our examples, on step 2 it says to write some HTML. So we're going to write some HTML into Notepad. We're not going to copy it, even though it says copy. We're going to go ahead and write some codes into HTML. We're going to start out with this one called Doctype. All this does is say, hey, this is what type of document it is, which is an HTML document. And then we will want to go and put in an open HTML tag. And whenever I type in my open tags that have a close tag, I will immediately add in my close tag to go along with it. That way I don't forget to do it. Now, the big difference between this tag right here and that tag right there, this one just simply says what type of document it is. This one actually tells your web browser that it's an HTML document. Next thing we're going to put in here is this tag called body tag. And I'm going to go ahead and enter a couple of times and put my close body tag to go along with it. Your body tag basically says everything in between the open body and the closed body is what's going to show up on your page. And that page starts from right here and goes all the way down to the bottom of the page. And then we're going to put in a first level heading, which is an H1. And I'm just going to put, I'm going to use my own text. You can put whatever you'd like in here, as long as it's school appropriate. And notice I have my open and closed tags. What that is a first level heading. If you take a look on this website right here, that is a first level heading right there. Or it might be a second level, I'm not 100% for sure. But these things right here that separate the sections, those are all different levels of headings, or this is all the same level of heading. And the last thing we're going to do is add in a paragraph. So I'm going to put that right here. Put my open P tag. I'll go ahead and put my closed P tag in there, and then I'll write my paragraph text right here. I'll just put this is a paragraph. So that is how you insert your simple basic HTML code. All right, now in case anybody's wondering, I am recording this and breaking this up into different parts as a recorder because it's kind of hard to just keep talking and talking and talking. So that's why there's a few pauses when you are watching this video. Now, the next thing you might be sitting here asking yourself is, how in the world do I take these codes right here and turn them into a web page like this? And the answer to that question is really, really simple, okay? All you have to do is save it as an HTML file. In order to do that, hit File and do Save As. Now, we want to navigate to our website folder that we created earlier. In my case, it is B2 2016-2017 practice site -Mr. Smith. Now notice right here where it says file name and save as type. You have this file name. It says star.txt. This is the part where you have to pay attention to your file extensions. If you don't know what a file extension is, all it is describes what type of file it is. Anytime you look at a file, it's going to say the file name dot whatever. If you look at a Word file, it'll say .doc or .docx. If you look at a PowerPoint file, it'll be .ppt or .pptx. If you save this as a text document, it's going to be .txt. We do not want to save it as a text document. We want to save it as an HTML file. Now, unfortunately, you do not have the option of saving it as an HTML file here under the Save As Type. So you have to actually type it in there yourself. Now, this page that we are creating is going to serve as the home page for our practice site for basically the rest of this semester. Anytime you create a website, the home page is always going to have the same name, and that name is index. And then you want to type in the file extension .html. Anytime you create a new website, the home page is always going to be called index.html. Every single time, it's always going to be index. It does not matter if you've created an index file for one website. You would create it for every single website that you see. So once you've typed in your file name index.html, you can click on Save. And that is how you create an HTML file. Okay, so you're sitting there thinking, well, how in the world do I take this Notepad document and I view it in my web browser? Okay, the answer to that is very simple. I'm going to go ahead and close this out just because I want to be able to show you how to open it back up again. Go back to your practice site folder, which mine is right here. And if I look at inside there, I'll see my index file, and you'll see the file type is an HTML document. If I double click on that, that's exactly what your website should look like. It has everything that you put in there. The file name will be right up there in the tab. We're going to change that when we go to edit it in a moment. But it will open up in whatever default web browser you're using. On your computers, it's likely Internet Explorer. If you have the ability to, and I don't know if the computers will give you the rights to do this, but I would probably download Google Chrome or Firefox if it is available and you're able to download it off your computer. The next part of this video, we will show you how to go back and make changes to this file, and we'll add in a heading and a page title to get rid of this where it says index.html. Okay, the next thing we need to do is make some changes to this page right here. In order to make the changes to this page, we need to go back and edit the codes that we created. Now, if you look in your folder, you might look here and say, hey, wait a second, what happened to that text document that I was working on? The answer is, it's still there. If you are able to right-click on your page and hit View Page Source, you will see that there's the source code that you were editing earlier, or that you created earlier. Unfortunately, I don't believe you all can actually go and right-click and hit your source code or view your source code and make changes to it right there. What you will need to do, and if you were working on this at home, you would be able to right-click and choose Open With, and then pick a program like Notepad, and there it would pop up. But unfortunately, y'all are not allowed to right-click here at school. You will need to go and actually open up Notepad. And please pay very close attention to these instructions. You'll want to go and click File and Open. You'll need to navigate back to your practice site folder, which is where I'm at already. Right now, it's looking only for text documents. If you change this to all files, you'll find that you have your index file right here. You can click on that and hit Open, and there you will have all your codes that you can make changes to. Please note, this isn't very complicated right now since there's only one file, but once you start working with a lot of different files on this using Notepad, be careful about keeping more than one Notepad document open at a time, because it'll be very, very easy to make changes to one page thinking you're making changes to a different page, and you can very easily lose your work. Also, save your work often. If you accidentally delete all your codes and then hit save, then your page will be blank, and you won't want that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in the head section to our page, and then we're going to put a page title on it. and we'll go back and take a look at it right now. If you don't add a head section and a title, it defaults to display your file name up here. And in case people were wondering, earlier in the semester, I told you there was a mistake on my website where it says Web Design Assignments. Right up here in the page title, I have Web Design ACA, which is short for Advanced Computer Applications. I was waiting for someone to catch that, and nobody ever did. So let's go ahead, and this part, we'll go ahead and add in our head section. Now, the head section is going to come before the body. Since it's not technically inside the body, it's going to come before the body. And I'm going to put in the open head tag. I'm going to double space down here and put in my close head tag. And I'm going to add in a page title. And I'm going to go ahead and put my close title that goes along with it. And then I'm just going to give it an appropriate name. A lot of times it's your home page. You can write home, or you can write a welcome message, welcome, whatever it is that you want to show up there. Now, in order for your changes to take place on this page right here, you need to hit File and Save. And then I'm going to go ahead and close that out. I'm going to go and refresh my page. And if you notice right up here, it says Welcome right there. All right, the next thing I want you to take a look at in our video here is go back to the W3 School site and click on the section that says HTML Basic. We're going to go over just a few basic examples in HTML. You've got all this part down up here already. I do want to take a look at the headings. When you have headings on your website, it helps you to organize the content and the stuff that shows up in your web, or when you do a web search, is your headings, H1s and H2s and so on and so forth. Those should contain keywords that people would search for your website by. If you look in this example right here, they've done H1, H2, and H3. And if you take a look at the example, just notice in here, the lower your headings go, the smaller they get. You probably won't get to where you need to use an H4 or H5 or H6, but that's what you do if you were to create those. And let's go ahead and add those into your practice site. I'm going to put my H2 right here. I'm just going to put this is a second level heading. And I'm going to go ahead down here and I'm going to put an H3 in right here. If you want to go and add the other ones in there, that's fine. Just know that they're there. You don't have to, when you use headings, don't just start out with an H1 and go all the way down to H6. I would recommend only using like H1s and H2s pretty sparingly. Let me go ahead and save that, and I'll go back over to my welcome page and view my changes, and you see they kind of get gradually smaller as we go along. A couple of other things to point out to you on this section right here. If you want to add a new paragraph, if you were writing a document and you were creating a new paragraph, you would just hit enter a couple of times. In HTML, you actually just create another paragraph. Right here, we'll just go ahead and we'll create a second paragraph. I'm just going to put in the text. This is a second paragraph. And we'll go ahead and save that. And let's refresh that right there. There's my second paragraph. And the next part that you see right here is this part that says HTML links. And it says HTML links are defined with the A tag, which stands for anchor. And they have this little describer right here called href, which stands for hyperreference, and then equals, and then you put the website address. You have a couple of different types of links in HTML. You have the internal links, which are the links to your other pages in your site, and you have external links, which take you away from your website. This example that you're seeing right here, it is taking you away from your website that you're on right now. And we're going to go ahead and insert a link into our page right now. And we are going to use this example right here. We'll just go a space href equals. A common mistake when people are doing this is spelling href wrong. A lot of times people put HERF, but it's HREF. Also, if you don't put the space in there, it will not work properly between the A and the href. We'll put the equal sign. Another common mistake is people not putting that double quotation mark right there. And the next thing we'll need to do is put our web address of the website that we're going to link together. And I'm going to link to my own website. Make sure you put the http:// Put the close quotation mark right there. I'm going to immediately put my close A. Notice you have your close A, or your open A right here, and the close A that goes along with it. This part right here is an attribute. You do not have to add a close href onto that. Now, the text that shows up in between the open A and the close A is the text that's going to show up on your screen. So go ahead and pick a website for you to link to using the technique I showed you. Make sure you label it properly, what it is right there, and then put a close A. And I'm going to go ahead and save that and refresh. And right there is a link. If you click on it, it takes you back to Mr. Smith's website. Okay, that's all of the information that I wanted to cover kind of in our first lesson of creating your first little web page. If you didn't get it 100% correct, I am going to go over a lot of this stuff when I return to class next week. But once you have included all your codes that we have created so far, make sure you save everything. And then I'm going to have you turn in your little practice site folder that we were working on right here. Go back to where your folder is saved at. Mine is right here. It says practice site Mr. Smith. Go ahead and hit Control-C on your keyboards, and I'm going to right-click and copy it. And then go to your desktop over here. Find your business folder right there. Go into where it says B2 Web Design. And we will just go ahead and paste your folder right into there where it says B2 Web Design. And then you are done with your practice site. That's the part that we did on the demonstration today in class. Now, after you have turned in your practice site folder, and that's the most important thing, make sure you turn it in. If it's not perfect, that's okay, but at least turn it in. After you have completed your practice site folder, or after you've turned in your practice site folder, excuse me, I want you to go back to my website and do your best to get started on this next assignment, which is right here, the home page assignment. This looks a little bit different than what you will see when you come to class tomorrow, because I haven't finished editing your video. Your video will be embedded in here, and it'll be the assignment will be right below that where it says begin homepage assignment. And this is your homepage assignment. Now, on your homepage assignment, these are your requirements. Now, this information that I've put on here, if you don't want to include things like your interests, your age, your nickname, or where you're from or where you work, if you do that, if you don't work or anything like that, if you already know what content you want to put on the homepage of your website, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to put that exact information. I basically put this on here for people who would have trouble getting started about what to put on the homepage for a website about themselves. This website is going to be about yourself, so you think about the content that you put on the homepage and make sure that it represents what you want it to represent. Now, I put down here, keep in mind this is bare minimum information that's required. You are encouraged to be creative and include things that you're interested in. A few other things that you need to remember, that this is your page. You design it however you want it to be, okay? And if you want to do stuff that we have not covered in the video already, that's okay. At the bare minimum, you need to have like a heading, and you need to have at least a paragraph, and you need to include at least the links to a couple of other pages. Now, I want you to also keep in mind that this is a single page, and you will be designing an entire website, which this page is going to serve as a home page for. I want you to include links to multiple websites. It could be websites that you like to visit and things like that. Now, the next thing on here says include multiple images. At this time, I did not want to put images in the first demonstration video because it's not hard to do, but I need to be able to explain it to you better than just playing it in a video. So don't put your images in there yet. Make sure you include headings to separate the sections on your home page. That could be as simple as putting your name in a heading and then labeling the paragraph that you're going to write. And then the next thing you need to do is create a folder for this assignment named BioSite and save the page as index.html. I'm going to go ahead and do that for you right now, show you exactly how to do that. So the very first thing you should do whenever you go and create your website, go into your student folder here. And I have my folder for this class, B2 2016-2017. There's my practice site folder. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it BioSite. I'm going to put dash Mr. Smith and open that up right there. All of my files that I'm going to create for this assignment are going to go right there. I'm going to go ahead and open up Notepad. And the very first thing I'm going to put in there is my Doctype. I'm going to do my open HTML tag, and I'm going to do my close HTML tag to go with it. I'm going to go ahead and put my head section in first. I'm going to indent here, put my title in there. I'm just going to make my title Welcome to Mr. Smith's Website. Actually, it's probably a little bit too long. I'm just going to put Welcome. I'm going to create my body tag right here. Put my close body right there. And then whenever I'm ready to create some content, I will put it in there in between my open body tag and my closed body tag. Since I've already got the page started and I'm ready to save it, I'm going to go to do a save as. Make sure I'm saving this in the right folder, Practice Site Mr. Smith. And this is going to be the home page. You're going to save it as index.html. Oh, somehow I've got it in the wrong folder. Let's make sure I choose BioSite, excuse me. Now I'll save it. Now, that's how you can get it started. From there, you put the content on there that you want. I do not expect you to finish the homepage assignment today. I would expect you to at least get it started. When I return to class next week, I will be checking to make sure you have turned in your practice site folder. That's at the bare minimum what you need to get done. And your practice site page should look something similar to this, maybe with a little bit different content. And then once you've got that done, please, please, please begin work on your homepage assignment. If anyone has questions during the class period, feel free to email me. I will be at a computer all day. Thank you very much.
Okay, if you want an opportunity to earn 5 bonus points, I'm going to give that opportunity to you right now. I'm putting this at the very end of the video just to see how many people will watch it to the very end. If you have watched the video up until this point, send me an email and put that in the email. Okay, simple. 2 + 2 = 4. There's my email address right below that. Send me an email that says 2 + 2 = 4. Nothing else. You do that, you get 5 bonus points. And don't tell the people that didn't watch the video. Bye.